Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 7. We're back.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Craig. We made it. We made it through 2020.
Few scratches along the way, but we made it.
Yeah, a few scratches. Few scratches.
So today, in this one, we're going to talk about Bitcoin mostly. Um, yeah,
Blowing up.
it's going off the hook. Ramy, you've got Bitcoin, or maybe you sold it all. Just go straight
No,
in.
I'm back in Bitcoin, and every time I try to get out, it pulls me back in.
Let's give us an update, or actually give us a timeline from when you got into the game until now, because we're watching a lot of videos of like OGs coming out in 2013. They're telling their story of how they spent this amount, and now they're worth like crazy. What's your history?
So so I think everybody has like, oh, I could have got into Bitcoin when it was nothing story. I do too. So a friend of mine who was always into like the IT technical dark web. I mean, he was always into that stuff and to new kind of things. And he told me there's just like electronic uh digital money coming out. This
What
was
year?
back, huh?
What year is this?
I'm trying to remember. I'm thinking 2010.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 2010, 11, 12. So one of those years, right? And he tells me there's this, right? And he said it's called Bitcoin, right? And I'm like, what? Like I just like, yeah, whatever. None of his like half baked schemes of trying to get rich of some stuff. So he was like, yeah, you could buy it off eBay. And he was like, yo, it's $7, right? Per Bitcoin. Right? Right. And I was just like, what? And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy like 500 or something, right? So anyway, that was my first introduction to Bitcoin. Obviously, I didn't get it at that time, and he actually sold it way too early before he got rich too.
Yeah,
But anyway,
he probably doubled, and he came out at
I mean, no, he
14.
tripped. I mean, he of course he made a couple thousand off
Yeah,
of what he bought, but he could have made millions.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, right? So that was my first introduction. Now come to when I came to Medellin, right? Never knew Bitcoin. I mean, I didn't care. Like, it was still there, right? This is a few years ago, and I met this guy, my friend, who was also struggling trying to get work. He also, huh?
Your housemate,
Yeah,
Felipe.
my roommate. Yeah, well, let's not, break that. Don't try to break my stories, Craig.
I'm sorry.
Ruin my stories.
Go ahead.
So anyway, so I met him and he was kind of struggling and stuff, right? Trying to get work, and we're kind of in the same situation. We're moving from our, countries, which was Florida, his country, and my country, New Jersey.
Wait, he was actually. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Go.
He's from Florida. I was making a joke that Floridians are like from another country. Anyway, right? So he found a job in a rising Bitcoin exchange,
Okay.
right? I mean, crypto exchange, right?
Mhm.
And he did pretty well, and he was all about
Oh,
crypto.
okay.
Yeah, because that was his like job, right? And he was like meeting people, and he plugged in, and he just because I was his roommate. Thank you very much, Craig. I got plugged in too. So I started buying Bitcoin here locally
Mhm.
from some they call them suppliers, right? Making doing arbitrage,
Mhm.
and now I'm heavily vested in to cryptocurrencies, right? And lately, wow, I mean, boom, right? And I didn't take advantage of the big boom because it went from like 10,000 just a few months ago,
Yeah.
right? To 30 something. I think that's 37 currently
It's a
at this
thirty-seven
time
thousand
right
dollars.
now. So,
27.
and I was selling and buying, and I just kept my money in there. I would have made way more than if I did all this work.
Yeah, we're
But,
afraid of it crashing.
well, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm gonna be straight up honest, right? I don't believe in Bitcoin.
What?
Not, yeah, I know. I'm a walking contradiction. Welcome to the mind of Ramy, right? So,
Exactly.
right, but are you really surprised, Craig? Right,
You know, keep going.
right, exactly, right. I'll tell you what. Okay, so what is the big thing about crypto? What are people? Why do people buy crypto or believe in it? Right, right. One, it's not. It's a decentralized uh, form of currency,
Yeah,
right?
there's no one else in your pocket.
Well, I mean, it's just there is no bank issuing it. There is no government behind it,
Mhm,
right? It is borderless. It is unregulated,
mhm,
right? Right? Untraceable, which I put in quotes because that's not. There are ways to do it,
yeah,
but they're difficult, right?
yeah,
So people love it, right? No, nobody's like Big Brother's not watching,
yes.
right?
And
Right? And people,
the big
right?
thing
Which is
with that as
it's a
well,
great point, right? It's a great point, right?
the big thing with
However,
Rami,
huh?
the big thing with that, with the decentralized aspect of it, the fact no one's controlling it, is the inflation. Like it's something that me, when I was doing an accounting degree, we were learning, you know, about inflation and time value of money and something and stuff. Sorry, and that's one of the big things that I like about it, and a lot of people do, is the fact that we can't print piles more of it. It's there. In, that's the amount. It's a definite amount.
Right. Exactly. Right. So yeah, people love cryptocurrencies for that, and since the founder of Bitcoin, which is uh some shit uh
Right.
sh-
I actually don't know either, but
yeah, it's Shintashi, something like that. I forget.
Japanese
It's a
guy,
huh?
Japanese guy or something.
Well, here's a thing, right? And whoever wants to look up the sorry, I'm horrible with fucking names. Okay, right. Whoever wants to look this up can, right? But the thing is, he's anonymous. Nobody knows who he is. People think that's a pseudonym for maybe some Eastern European cat. People have come out like, I am Jesus, Tashi, whatever his name is, right? And there's a whole kind of mystery behind it, right?
Hmm.
But it's interesting, right?
Yeah,
The whole concept behind it. Now, why I don't believe in it, right?
yeah, yeah.
Here's a big reason why, right? Fiat currency is, hard cash.
Hmm.
It's fiat, right? Right. So uh, the thing is, to me, you always gotta sell Bitcoin for hard cash. I mean, if you want to do stuff in this world, right?
Hmm.
You gotta sell the Bitcoin for something.
But do you, man? Like for
Right.
cash?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Okay, okay. Yeah, you could go into parts of this, and anywhere and buy people will accept Bitcoin for,
Hmm.
goods and
Yeah.
services, right? Whole bunch,
Hmm.
right? And that's fine, right? But if I want to go to the local store and buy some milk,
Hmm.
right? I only got Bitcoin. What do I do?
Yeah, but
It's worthless.
it,
It's
well,
worthless.
at the moment,
I mean, in any moment. I mean, what are you gonna do? 50 years? You're gonna get rid of hard currency? I
well,
mean, a
no.
100 years?
Look,
you
look,
know?
but look at the growth of it in the last whatever, you know, since it came out. Like that's the fact that we can already do transactions with it. Is that not something that previously people would have been like, nah, it's never going to work. No one's going to.
I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, it is, barterism, right? It's you're bartering stuff. I mean, that's always been around. Hey, I have a shiny a rock here. I'll get for this shiny rock. Will you give me three of your daughters? Yes. Here we go. Boom. That's that. Guess what? That's Bitcoin now. I mean, there is no kind of special thing about it. The thing is, right? Cash rules, right? Something in your hand, right? Until people, no, until I convince, Maria down the corner that I could give her Bitcoin for three apples,
Yeah,
right? She ain't, the Bitcoin ain't shit,
but
it's just at the end of the day, right? You gotta sell it for cash. Now I could go to a special place and buy a house with Bitcoin. I'm sure there are plenty of people that sell it, right? But
Mm,
I can't go anywhere I want and buy and buy a house where I want because hey, the guy might not accept Bitcoin, you know?
mhm. So you're, but the thing is, like, if it's, do you not think that that's a success? Like, when you say you don't believe in Bitcoin, you believe in it to a point that, like, as long as it continues like this, where you can transfer to cash, it's still worth having.
Uh, I mean, listen, as a monetary value, as an investment, sure. Bitcoin is great because there's a whole
You don't
bunch
think
of
it's worth
people,
this?
right? Because listen, what makes something valuable, right?
Scarcity.
What makes something right is that the fact that we all agree that it's valuable,
Mm,
not what it is,
mm,
right? Me and you have to agree $1 equals $1,
mm,
right? Or or a certain has a certain value for it, right? So do I think there's a community of people that agree that Bitcoin has value? Sure. And if you plug into that community,
mm.
it would be worth something to them, you know? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, my plan in investing is at some point always cash out.
Mm.
Cash out.
Yeah, yeah,
Cash out, you know? So that's always my thing. And I think a lot of people, most people in Bitcoin
that's
think
what
that.
their plan. That's their plan.
Right. They're cash out because they want to have cash, right? Because they know all their lives cash was the thing, right? Now, at some point in the future, would more people accept Bitcoin? But yeah, but at that point, it's going to be regulated.
Mm,
Listen, the point of regulation is not for Big Brother watching you. I mean, people do. I mean, I'm sure governments do use that. Oh, they take advantage of it, right? The point of the people, the banks want watching is because they need to have control.
mm,
They need to because it's beneficial for a bank to have control. That's how it is prudent for them to have these measures so they can have you. Oh, I want to buy a new iPhone. Let me go to my app. Right? They need to track the U.S. The money to their thing to back to yours, so they can make sure
yeah,
all these transactions go through in a smooth process. Right?
yeah.
So Bitcoin at some point for it to blow up
Mm,
has to do the one thing that people don't want it to do. It has to be regulated,
yeah.
right? And then once it's regulated, then it's just another stock or another credit card. So again,
But it,
to the point. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't believe it's some kind of revolutionary thing. That's why. Oh my God, this
because
is
a lot of
sweet.
people do, like, people
Yeah,
really.
they're idiots.
Do you think that it's idiotic to think that, like, if
Yes.
because the government, could they not, like you say, when it's regulated? Uh, God, what I'm trying to. I should really study this more. But I'm thinking, like, if it is regulated, will you still have some of the benefits of the cryptocurrency, or will it just be the same thing as cash?
No, one is regulated, right? Okay, so currently I cannot bring more than 10,000 USD into pretty much any country on a
Okay.
plane, right? It might be a problem, right?
Mm,
At some point they're gonna do the same thing with Bitcoin. I mean, at some point, if I'm going, I can't transfer, my Bitcoin to a foreign asset if it's more than 10,000 or something. They're gonna figure out a way
a lot of
eventually
shit then.
to. I mean, they have to. You understand? Because you don't like people don't get regulation is uh
To make
an
or break.
evil. It's an evil necessity.
Mm,
No, society needs regulation. And that's just the awful truth, man. It is. We can't have this world where it's convenient,
mm,
right, and also deregulated.
mm,
Impossible, right? Because just this control and chaos will breed, right? And some people might like that. Some people think that's natural, right? But it's not prudent to progress, unfortunately. The problem is people use progress, use organization as a form of, invasion of privacy to, again, to make profit. It's funny. I'm here in Colombia, right? I'm watching commercials because I like to watch, basketball. So there's commercials, right? Right. And when I watch, TV in the US, all of it, it's like crazy. I mean, they're coming up with new innovative apps every day, you
Mm,
know?
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just seen, oh, you know how they have like a DNA test for your
Mm-hmm.
if it's to find out who you are?
Great.
I saw a commercial for a DNA test for your pet. And I was like, I mean, at one point, in one sense, I'm amazed and astonished as how innovative that is. I mean, we keep on looking for more stuff, right? And the second hand, I'm like, come on, bro. Can we think of a better way to spend our time than to think of an app for your dog to find out, what breed he is, And I'm just like, just like it's a weird kind of
It's constantly innovating.
do right, a dual kind of perplexing thing. This is society. At
Right.
one hand, we need to be innovative. On the other hand, we waste our time in such nonsensical shit, and it's like almost correlated.
Yes. Can I ask you, because I think people would be interested in, your exact sort of portfolio. Um, I'm not going to ask you everything, obviously, but do you have like a system with your sort of investment portfolio? Is it just Bitcoin? Are there any other coins that you've got on the go? How do you approach it? And what do you kind of maybe regret about certain uh, actions,
Um.
if any?
Yeah. Yeah. So. Uh. So in Colombian arbitrage, right, which is very interesting here, this Bitcoin arbitrage, right? Different areas you could buy Bitcoin for, specifically Bitcoin for lower prices, below market, right? Because I don't know, there's a lot of circumstances involved, right? And so that's what I do. I buy for below and try to sell it at market or higher. Sometimes I keep it too long. If you're disciplined about it, you'll make quite a profit, because you can stay at a certain, if you're disciplined and you just take advantage of what you bought it at and just sell it right away, you'll make a profit. But sometimes I got greedy. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wait till it goes higher, and then sometimes I get stuck where it drops, and now I'm stuck. If I sell, I lose a profit, so I have to wait for it to high. So that went on for a while, right? But now I'm better at that. When I buy, I sell. And as far as my investment strategy is, um, they have something called, I don't know if our audience is familiar, but the candlestick charts, right? And if you know how to read a candlestick chart well, you could see where uh, there's like a threshold that it needs to break, and from that, there's more likely to go up and more likely to go down. There's much more many people way smarter than I am that figure out algorithms to figure that out for you.
Yeah.
And they have like kind of like these groups of investments like, hey, give me your money and I'll make money. So they make a whole bunch of money off those algorithms themselves,
Mhm.
right? And they give you a little cut. And that's really like, you got to be careful with those. A lot of those are pyramids kind of type schemes. But anyway, I'm babbling about that, right? That's pretty much my strategy. I try to follow those trends. Yeah.
Let's kind of we are dialing not dialing back. We're finishing up with a wee story. Bitcoin Newport man's plea to find 210 million pound hard drive in a dump. He threw his hard drive out in 2013. The guy from Wales, James Howells, he had 7,500 bitcoins, and it's in a landfill site. He's getting in touch with the local community, with the council to try and retrieve the hard drive. He says he'll donate 25% of the value of his bitcoins, which would be 50 odd million pounds, 70 odd $1 million. And he wants to give it to the COVID relief fund. here in the
I'm
UK.
sure he does.
Yeah,
I
well, I
mean,
mean,
what choice does he
tell you
fucking
what, he's
have,
got nothing at the moment.
I
So
mean, why didn't he say 50%?
50% at
Yeah,
least.
that's called greed, brother.
He started with 10% in the beginning in
What
2000.
the fuck? Oh,
Yeah,
what an idiot.
2017. Um, so yes, it's not.
I mean, I would have said like 80%, of the fun.
When he threw the hard drive away in 2013, it was worth 7.5 million. Like that's 2013. Um. Anyway, yeah, it's almost
Well, I mean, yeah, if it's still intact and savable, I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, right there is a perfect example of like the good and bad about Bitcoin. I mean,
yeah.
if you have a cold storage, which he did, all right.
Mhm.
But hey, if you lose it, there you go. And also, if anybody finds that Bitcoin,
Mhm.
guess what?
They can't do
It's
anything.
theirs. He can't do anything about it. He can't do anything about
Yeah,
it.
but they like he's looking for the hard drive with the code. Oh shit! So they can if they find that they enter the code. Do they need anything else?
They could just
That's it.
copy the Bitcoin because the thing about crypto,
Mhm.
right? That's why people want to regulate it, right? Right. The thing about crypto is that if somebody steals your Bitcoins or whatever, or finds it in a landfill,
No backup.
it's theirs.
Yeah.
You cannot prove anything that it's yours.
But do you
You
think
know?
there will be some sophistication with that, whereby people are able to actually make like a process online where you can retrieve your password if do you know what I mean, or is that unsafe as well? Like,
Well, I mean, the only way to do this is tying transactions with people, because people are regulated,
mm,
right? Everybody has an ID, yes, some kind of a natural number
yeah,
that's given to you here in the U.S. Here in the U.S. they call it Social Security. I'm not sure in Ireland what they, but everybody, right? Uh, so people are regulated. So, if somehow you're tying the transaction, your Bitcoin to you, then you could say this is mine.
yes,
Look, it's mine. Right? Same thing with cash. You're like, oh, what's your ID to get to your bank? What's your ATM card? Right? It's mine, right? So that's again, but that's regulation.
yes,
So it's a two double-edged sword there. And like I've said, if it really wants to be taken seriously,
yes,
meaning by non right investors and the general public, right? It has to be regulated. I'm sorry, it does. I don't want it to be regulated. I like the idea of deregulation, rebel, you know, right? But right, that's just inevitable,
let's
like
say
Thanos.
let's talk just broader about cryptocurrency as a whole, not just Bitcoin. Bitcoin gets the kind of it's the one that everyone remembers, but there's other things like Ethereum and other aspects of the crypto game that are very intriguing for investors. They're kind of different. They've different structures or qualities to them, different functions. Um, People are raving about Ethereum. It's like their number two, or so I've heard. You've got
Yeah,
things
ETH is
like
number
Litecoin.
two. Yeah,
Do you are
Litecoin.
you
Yeah.
watching any of the other ones? Do you have an opinion on those?
Yeah, I mess with Ethereum. I like this thing called Cardano.
Okay.
It's pretty low right now, but it is made by the one of the founders of Ethereum,
Hmm.
and it serves like a kind of purpose beside just um a form of currency. I forget exactly what they're trying to do, but but that there's a lot. There's this thing called like manga, right?
Yeah.
And MANGA, I think,
Yeah, it's
right? Right,
Japanese anime kind of thing, right?
right. But it's like for it's a cryptocurrency. It's a crypto
Oh.
that allows you to buy uh like space in a virtual world,
Yes,
right? And it's, I forget there's a game that's like tied with it, right?
yeah,
Right, there's a game that's tied with it. If you look up manga, right, you'll currency, only a specific virtual world, right? And it lets you buy that space in the virtual world, right? So you could build your own world and then sell it. Like you buy a lot, you build something on it. Like if you're a video game designer or something,
Like
right?
Minecraft.
Huh?
Like Minecraft.
I don't play video games, so whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I don't. I mean, I don't. I last video game I played was this game called Quake Arena.
Okay.
Uh,
So back
best
in the olden
one of
days.
the best video game I've ever, because it was a multiplayer game, right? And after that, I gave up. I was like, I'm never gonna play a video game better than this in my life. This is the pinnacle of uh of that. Shout out to my older folks who know about Quake 3 Arena laser tag. But anyway, right? So right, I used to be addicted to that game, right? Anyway, right? So you buy a lot, you build your space, and you could sell the space or whatever, I guess, right? And it is actually has a monetary value. This thing is being traded on crypto exchanges, you know.
I don't. I need some time to try and digest that, but that seems crazy to me. That if I'm getting this right, you're putting forward a concept of digital real estate with space. I don't know. It's that's crazy. Um, Rami, we're hitting 40 minutes, sort of near the end. I think we're covering it. Uh, we kind of talked about your investments, what you think, the whole boom of Bitcoin, crazy stories coming out of people like making a lot of money, people losing a lot of money. I'm like a huge amount of people who have just been on the sideline watching. I think a lot of people are now listening up. This has got a lot of people's attention. It certainly got mine, and now I'm trying to educate myself on it. Is there anything you did to educate yourself on Bitcoin? Any particular books or channels that you think would help people try and understand it better?
Um, no, I'm not really great with that. It was mainly my name.
Well, Christmas
I'm not.
gift
I'm
for you.
not. I'm not. I'm not. I. This is a bad admission here. I do not read books. I know. I know. I don't want to hear it. I know. I know. I want to read more. I just don't have the patience to. You know. I have a list of books that I want to get to and just focus on and read, but I just don't have. My mind is just too.
You're
You know.
visual.
I am visual. I am like Einstein. You know. Visual. You know. I get the theory of relativity conceptually. I just, if you told me to read a book about it, I'm like, oh, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to.
So
But
you got nothing.
I'm not. But you know, there are a whole bunch of YouTube videos out there that explain crypto. I mean, none of that shit's gonna help if you want to invest in crypto. If you want to invest in crypto, learn how to read a candle chart. You know that's how you do. I mean, for real. If you want to learn how to read candle chart or use the force, Luke. I mean, you knowing what crypto is, like, yeah, I get it now. It's not gonna help you make money in crypto if that's what you want. You know, if you are intrigued by it, because look, the technology is great. It's like a log, right, from beginning to end to track every transaction, right, and that doesn't have to be monetary. People apply that, right? They call it blockchain technology like it's fucking revolutionary. It's really just, keeping track log by log, entry by entry, so you could see A to Z how it got there, right? So, I mean, if you really want real technology, right? Quantum, like, numbers and this quantum code they're coming out with, that's fucking crazy because it kind of creates stuff out of thin air,
Yeah.
right? That's revolutionary, man. You know, not really blockchain, which is, but the guy who made it, this Shantashi guy, genius, because he made something unique. And I don't care what that is in this world, that's something, you know? So,
I should get a friend of mine on at some point, Rami. He invested ages ago. I just never talked to him about it because I feel like sometimes people ask just because they want to know the money that he's earned or something, and I don't know. But he's a really smart guy. Did physics in uni, and then taught himself coding, and then he started a business where they tried to do some kind of blockchain thing. I never really picked his brain because I didn't know anything, and now probably still need more reading, but I'm getting closer to getting them on. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I need to get, he'll be a great guest, and my roommate,
Yeah.
he's like
Oh,
a star down here in South America, crypto land. He's
yeah.
a rising star. So yeah, and he's all about crypto. I mean,
Really, it would be a good
I'm
one.
surprised he didn't get Bitcoin tattooed on his forehead yet. You know,
Could be the next thing.
it could be the next thing.
Well, here, Ramy, we'll leave it at 45 minutes. Anything else you want to? Do you want to finish it off with anything?
I just want to wish everybody in the world and you, Craig,
Thank you.
a great Happy New Year. And I hope and pray that this year brings you much success, my friend, and
Oh, yeah.
makes the world kind of works itself out, you know, this year. And that's what I want to end this off with.
Fingers crossed, eh? Thank you, everyone. That is episode 7, Bitcoin talk, crypto talk, and that'll do us. Cheers.
All right. Peace, guys.
Bye bye.